Welcome to the SoulScape Show with your host and intuitive multidimensional channel and soul healer, Gabrielle Spencer. You can find all SoulScape shows and free gifts from our special guests at soulscape.tv. This is Season 5. We're thrilled to have with us Margarita Alcantarra. Margarita is a shamanista medicine woman, activator for the new code of power, and a keeper of the blue flame, who helps spiritually conscious entrepreneurs activate the next level of their power so they can make their deep impact in the world. She activates divine power codes in others and opens portals of power on Mother Gaia by opening the door to the source of true power, to clear artificial power and unify Earth into light. She is an embodiment of Mother Gaia, conduit between the Star Nation and Mother Gaia, and Chakra expert. Her worldwide global activation experiences create personal and planetary transformation. And together, we discuss activating your divine power in the world helps you transform into the fullness of your purpose.
Hello and welcome everyone. This is Gabrielle Spencer on the SoulScape Show, and I have with us tonight just a beautiful woman, not just on the outside. She has so much going for her, and in fact, today I was thinking she is like the shamanistic goddess for sure. So she'll be sharing with us so much about that. Margarita Alcantarra. I think I'm close on the last name. She is here with us today, and she and I, as we were just saying, journeyed together on a spiritual journey 2 years ago to London, England, and out to the Stones and Stonehenge, and had a wonderful time. So welcome, sweetie. Thank you for being here with us tonight.
Thank you, Gabrielle, for inviting me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm excited too, because I love what you're going to share. I think that this is such an important topic, and one that I actually wanted to ask everybody to put in the chat box. What do you think of when you hear awaken your divinity? What does that mean to you? Because I'm realizing it's like being talked about a lot, and that's what you're here to talk to us about. But I'd love to know where everybody is on that, right? Where are you, and what does that mean to you, and why do you want it? Anything. Give us a little bit of a heads up, right? Okay. I can't read the person who just wrote that. They said, my direct connection to God. Yes, agreed. I agree with you. So my dear, while we're letting everybody think about that, what divinity and awakening your divinity means to them, tell everyone a little bit about yourself. I will do an intro later, but for now, just tell them what really resonates with you about what you're doing and what you're loving about what you're doing and what you're seeing change too, because I think there's a lot of changes in what we were doing even 2 years ago. My God.
Yeah, it's just, and thanks for asking that, Gabrielle, because yeah, so much has shifted since you and I were in Glastonbury, and just, wow. I mean, just, the planet is opening up. We are, awakening into the fullness of who we are, realizing our potential. And so in regards to my work and how that's also shifted a little bit, well, not a little bit, probably a lot now. But I do a lot of work with activating the divine power codes in other individuals, and also activating them all around the world on sacred sites, and really opening portals of true light to come in to kind of usurp artificial power. And there's a lot of that even already shifting right now all across the globe with all the things that are showing up in the world and how we're all receiving it as a collective. And so it's just really, my work is focused on just connecting with people to help them align with their leadership as light workers in this world, and really connecting with that divinity within themselves so that that gets unleashed and their potential gets activated, and so then they can make greater impact in the world. And I work a lot with spiritually conscious entrepreneurs and leaders of light. So that's really where I focus my work on.
Yes, I was recently on your Leaders of the Light show.
Yeah.
That's right. It was only a little bit ago, actually. Okay, so the most important part about where we are right now, what does that feel like to you? What is, like, if you had to say to somebody, okay, this is really the message right now.
The message, yeah. Well, you know, it's like I'm as you were sharing that, I was like thinking about distilling that, and that message would be, it's time to step up. You know, it's time to step up as light workers, as leaders, as healers in the world.
Yes.
You know?
Practice is over.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen to that. We're not practicing anymore. We're not preparing for something. It's game time.
It is. Ready or not, here we come. You all know that game. Okay, we played it as kids. Ready or not, here we come, right? To hide and seek and whatever else. That's how we would, and you know, you do your count and then you go, ready or not, here I come. And it's just a fascinating time because it feels so amazing. Like we have so much untapped potential, and it is about coming together. Like you said, even the mantra for this session of SoulScape is silent no more, stand for God, which is about standing for yourself, your own inner divinity, your own connection to divinity. I mean, it's all there, right? And we are being called. It is no longer just about us healing ourselves. We are actually, you know, we're playing that economic game of macrocosm, microcosm, where you're working yourself. It is really about healing all of that on this huge level, because we were doing it before. I was thinking about it today. You know, 20 years ago when I was studying to be a Reiki master, you know, we talked about by bringing in the energy, even if it was meant for somebody else, it would still heal us, right? And we are still doing that, but our focus isn't so much on ourselves anymore. It's about just being the light, which we've been prepping for. I've been talking about that for about 2 years, you know, where that's our biggest purpose. And now we have to put that into action. So is that what you're seeing? I see you shaking your head. So is that how you're interpreting the messaging that you're getting?
Yeah, because it's just really, you know, because I just really feel like there are a lot of light workers in this world who really are just still focused on the internal healing. And of course, that's always important, but it's time to just allow yourself to tap into that acceleration and just, you know, bypass all this things needing to be slow and comfortable and all this stuff, right? Because it's about, you know, the whole entire planet now. You know?
Yeah, slow and comfortable went out with the bathwater.
Yeah, a long time ago, but some people haven't gotten that memo yet. So,
well, so how do we help people get the message and really focus on their greatest piece of this? I mean, I always see things like a puzzle or a mosaic. I just do a tapestry. I always talk about things in that way. It must be those Avalon roots, right? That we were talking about earlier. Which is just funny because I was just telling her, she was writing that she's going to do Avalon. I was like, that's so weird because that just like popped back into my head. And, you know, in my 20s, I used to live in DC. I used to take the train. God, I know you live in New York City, so you know. But see, I don't live where there are trains and you can hop on and like in an hour or hour and a half, you arrive in another city.
yeah,
I used to take.
They have that where you are, though, right?
Sorry?
They have that where
no,
you are, right?
In Florida, we do not have that. But when I lived in DC, I would take the train up to New Jersey and to Philadelphia. So it was really awesome. But anyway, the point of this is one day I wandered into a bookshop in Central Station in DC, in Union Station. And I picked up this book. I think it's called The Lady of Avalon or something. I cannot remember exactly, but that's where first was oh my God, I resonate with this so much. And I remember reading it the whole way, which is why, so you brought back all these memories. We're talking about it, but I know that part of it is because of your earth magic that you hold. And Avalon is a lot of earth magic. It's everything else too, but a lot of earth magic. So talk to us about earth magic, about your shamanic goddess aspect of you, because it's so around you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I know you see that too. And I'm really appreciating your observation. And well, you know, with the earth medicine, I mean, we all get to be connected to that, right? I mean, so many of us in the collective have really lost touch with Gaia, with Mother Tara, you know, and just Mother Earth. And this is something where with my work, you know, I do a lot of elemental healing. So I use a lot of earth medicine. Sometimes it's the actual herbs. Sometimes it's the plant medicine, the animal medicine, you know, really listening to the wisdom of the animals and the insects and what they're sharing with us. And they're so perceptive, you know, and this is something that, you know, we get to learn from each other, you know, beyond species, beyond, you know, who we are. And, you know, there's so much within the earth and there's so much within the earth, you know, I mean, there are cities and, you know, villages within the earth. And so it's just like, there's so much within this planet that we get to access and connect to. And that's so important now because so many of us are not connecting to those earth aspects within ourselves, and then also not really connecting with Gaia as we could, and also not really connecting with each other as we could, you know, and that's really, really important. And so the shamanic work that I do, it really kind of coincides all those elements, you know, the earth, air, fire, water, and all that goodness, and also the animal medicine, and just really using those elements to not only help us connect within ourselves, but then also to help us connect with each other and with the earth, so that we can really see how that is like a full embodiment, you know, like really connecting with all the aspects of who we are and connecting with each other. And, you know, and as we can see, there's so much, all this pandemic stuff that's going on to, you know, disconnect ourselves from each other and to create division and all this stuff. And, you know, this is even more now, more than ever. This is why I feel like the work that we're all doing, each and every one of us, is just, it's very important for us to step up and really to amplify our light and to take action and really provide whatever our superpowers are into the world to assist this transformation.
It's like we're reading off the same sheet of music. You're like right there. That's exactly what I am standing for too, is that it's time for us to amplify our light together. It's not a one-man job. We must do it together in order to succeed. My own, you know, it's been interesting. I feel like Flashback Thursday today. Because I've been saying too, this time period reminds me and triggers memories within me of it just left me. Anyway, you all know it's not Avalon, and I cannot now stop thinking about Avalon. Go away. All right, it must all be connected. Atlantis, because of the power struggle that occurred and the necessity for all the commanders of light to come together and use that light to make the shift happen. And this is where we are. And I was recently just saying, you know, it's funny, you have to deal with your own demons at the same time, because the memory is so strong within my own cellular matrix that it spurs me to do more and more and more things. And it's like, okay, you have to remember you're human. Someone of my friends recently just scolded me and was like, you know, you got to sleep. And I said, you know, I don't even think I sleep well. And so then I recently did a channeling for basically disconnecting so that you can actually let your physical body sleep. So in the earth sense, what do you recommend? Because I'll bet you that everybody out here that's writing in and you're on it, everybody, with your divine awakening. And that's fantastic. I've been reading it as we've been talking. How do we sleep better?
Yeah.
How do we bring in earth energy to help us?
Yeah. Well,
ground or whatever.
Well, first of all, I want to resonate with what you shared around Atlantis because, you know, there was all this technology, there was all this awakening then, and a lot of shifting, and you know, some things happened, right? People made some decisions, and some things didn't work out, right, to say the least. And I too, I agree with you, because
You're
I
so
have.
nice.
It's like a euphemism, right? But the truth is that I remember that too, right? Like I was there and I witnessed, what occurred because some of us chose differently, right? And that was something that I got to move through. And what I'm hearing with you, Gabrielle, is that there's like this strong memory that is, keeping you up at night. And it's just part of that is your personal experience, but it's also a collective experience, because I feel like what's going on is that the collective, we're all remembering all these really powerful aspects of ourselves that maybe we've forgotten, like if we've been doing that internal work, then, we're kind of ahead of the game. But for others in the collective, they've forgotten, and so what's going on now is that there's a lot of remembering, and with a lot of that remembering comes a lot of like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. I can't believe I was a part of that. I can't believe I performed this or that, and so it's this great clearing. And so, and then, I have to speak into the fact too, that it's not only just about the earth medicine right now, it's about the fact that we are acclimating galactic and solar cosmic frequencies right now into our bodies. And that's also amplifying our upgrades and our acceleration, which is awesome. But then it can also interrupt our sleep patterns just on the most practical level. And especially with the solar flares, I think on the 29th, we had our largest solar flare on this planet in 3 years. And so that provides a lot of upgrades, but it also provides a lot of, for some people, it can create anxiety, it can create sleep interruption, it can create deep fatigue. We each kind of acclimate in different ways. And so for me, it usually interrupts my sleep, or it's not as restful as it could be, even though I'm feeling calm, or, that kind of thing. So it shows up differently for many people. But I think that in terms of what can we do about that? Well, I think that we can, first of all, just keep grounding ourselves more deeply into who we are, really up the self-care, like beyond self-care, right? Like, I mean, I think that Epsom salt baths are so amazing because they just really clear your auric field. It helps to also relieve the muscle tension in the body because of the magnesium content. And so things like that, where you are really deeply connecting with what you require to be nourished, and to really drink a lot of water to even integrate those higher frequencies too. I mean, those are some of the things I would recommend.
Good. I always forgot about Epsom salt. Anyway, it is a good one. It is also a good one for just, yes, clearing out the whole energetic field. It is very, and then of course, as you're saying that, I was seeing like lavender oil being dropped in there, all these things that we could do just in that part to help yourself sleep. Anyway, all right. Divine power. What do you feel about it?
In what sense?
What's it mean to you?
Divine power.
And how are you like a lightning rod for it? I don't know why, but that's what I'm seeing right now for you. Like there's a light, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It looks like a lightning rod. So when you're teaching about divine awakening, perhaps it starts in that way. Explain it. I've asked everybody to tell us their feelings on it. How do you teach about it?
Well, it also depends on how people are approaching it, right? But I mean, I think in terms of your initial question around divine power, that's really, and you said, you touched on it earlier in today's talk, which is, we are an extension of God source, that mother, father, God. And as such, we possess that power. And so many of us have forgotten that. And so to awaken that divine power in ourselves means to remember who we really are and to awaken that potential. And so really connecting with that divine source within each and every one of us is so, so important, because we've been taught and also even programmed to believe the illusion that we are not powerful enough, or that we can't handle certain things, or that we're not capable, or any of that type of fear programming. And, and that has been effective for a certain amount of time. But now, we really are waking up into the understanding that actually we are creator beings. We actually are creator beings. We actually create everything that we're surrounded by right now. You and I created this moment where you and I could connect heart to heart on this Zoom call, and to connect with all these individuals on this planet, through this Zoom call. And it's just, we create so powerfully, and we get to connect with that potential so that we can create from a highly conscious state, and a very intentional state. And because I think that so many of us, myself included, we've all been born into this passive, just passive experience. And we learn to unlearn and unprogram ourselves so that we can then access our light potential. And it was interesting what you were sharing about seeing me as kind of like this lightning rod, because I've seen that too. And, and that's also part of what I do too, is I am a conduit between the Star Nation and Mother Gaia. And so that was something that I've held as a role for many eons. I have memories when I was here with my twin flame, who's now here with me. Thank goodness we found each other this time around again. But I remember one of our earliest moments was when we were on this planet, and it was still called Terra. And, all the land was on one continent, and we were not human. And we were very tall. And we were a different color that was not maybe what we would consider a human color. I think we were like blue or purple or something, I forgot. But, that said, we connected with the earth. And at that time, I remember even then, when my name was Lady Light Starbringer, was that I would literally bring down the stars to help Gaia when she was in trouble. And I remembered this understanding of myself about maybe 3 or 4 years ago now, when I had my starseed remembrance and awakening in, oh my goodness, I'm being called forward because this work is required right now. And so many of us are being called forward in some kind of similar way, where we're like, wow, I'm here to make a difference, and that was my story, but everyone has a story here, to like amplify that light and to be that conduit for the planet and for the collective. And so that's something I'm remembering to do for Gaia. And that was part of the reason why I was starting to, before this COVID stuff hit, I was already starting to do global activations around the globe with Mount Shasta and Machu Picchu. And, to really, well, Gaia told me where to go, basically. She said, I'd like for you to begin at Mount Shasta, start ceremony there, and then go to Machu Picchu and basically, continue. And that's because that's my personal work that I get to do. And it's to really anchor in that true power that we each have, and to activate and unleash that so that we can, kind of just put that potential out into the world and make a difference.
It's time. I mean, we're doing double duty now, where we are still evolving. And as we're doing it now, you're doing it on a large scale, because it's open and it's available too. And, it's interesting. I had a conversation with my children probably a week or so ago. And I was talking to them about that there's no middle ground anymore, that it's not enough to be like, well, yeah, I believe in God. Yeah, I believe, Mom, you can help me when I need it, but otherwise, forget it. I'm off doing my own thing. And I was explaining that, a couple of years ago, I was talking about this, how, things had opened up energetically, where we were all talking about the veil had shifted so much and we were finally accessing more information. But with that comes a lot of other things besides responsibility. We're being gifted all the time with greater knowledge and understanding and activations, as you already talked about. And we're moving at an accelerated pace to amplify our superpowers, as you said, but there's a reason that we are, right? And that's that next part, is like, it didn't just come so that we could all have, we could play Avengers or whatever it is, right? It's like, it's here for a reason, because that's what's needed in this time. That's why it opened. That's why we've been prepping. It's because it's actually needed. And everybody, we've all been wandering around for years now talking about, well, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? And, we got a little bit misguided in some ways, but it was part of the journey, of course, which is, becoming a healer or remembering your oracle powers or whatever, right? But that it wasn't ever about a job. It's about our job, which is to shift the planet into a love frequency, which is that 5D frequency. And so it's no longer you get to play middle guy. There is no Switzerland in this game. You are, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what I was explaining to my children. So you all can laugh about that. You can only imagine what that conversation was like, but it's went very similar to that there is no Switzerland, that it is that choose a side time and you're either for the light or you're not. It's like, there's no middle. And it was really interesting. I seem to be having this conversation a lot lately, because it's time for everybody to realize that we're moving, and we're moving very quickly, and we're being shifted very quickly. And so the more we do this together, the easier I think it'll be, right?
Absolutely. Because I think that, because what you said just now was kind of like a mic drop moment, because it was just really, there really is no middle ground. I think that for so many light workers and way showers, like they've been kind of, well, kind of like in the middle a little bit and wavering here and there. But now it's like we don't have that luxury, because really things are being revealed, things are being shown to us, and we're being called forward. And you can either say, yes, I'm stepping up, or no, I'm not, and like, I mean, there's no judgment there, but at the same time, it's like, you're being called forward for a reason, right? And it's not because you don't have what it takes. It's because you do have what it takes, and you've prepared for this, and you incarnated on purpose on this planet, right, so you can provide it, And so it's like, you can't be diplomatic about it anymore, honestly.
I know, right? We're talking about it more strongly tonight, probably than I have in many, but I just know, I don't know about you, but buddy, I feel, it's funny as I'm saying it, I'm seeing like a bulldozer, and we're just being pushed to the front. That's it. Everybody, we're being pushed to the front. So somebody is asking, I know, what did she say? How do we know we are here? We are helping Earth if we don't know what we are here to do. Would you like to answer that? Because that's perfectly what we're talking about.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the truth is, we each and every one of us has a purpose, a powerful purpose at that. And I would even venture to say that you do know what your purpose is. And the reality is that we all know what our purpose is. And usually when we say we don't know what it is, it's because we're either not delving deeply enough into our hearts, which holds that information, which it holds that imprint of our power, right, in our hearts, or we are just too scared to step forward and do it, right? Because I've heard that from a lot of really powerful light workers. I don't know what my purpose is. How do I know how to tap into it? And the truth is, if you actually just tapped into the power of your heart, it would just tell you, right? Like, I mean, if I even just guided you through like a like a little connection to tap into the dream space of your heart right now, and really just drop down your energy into the heart space and allow her to speak or him to speak, right? That heart would speak, and they would tell you what's up. They'd tell you, you know, what your purpose is in the world. They'd probably tell you the different modalities that you'd be applying in order to do that, or the special codes that you carry. And so you possess it. And so it's really a matter of allowing yourself to connect to that aspect of your heart, so that you can reconnect with that. And then to have enough courage to step forward and take action with that. Because that's the other part too, is that sometimes we say we don't know what our purpose is because we're afraid to take those steps.
Yeah. And I'd like to add to that, it's never fully realized. It's a continuously growing, expanding process. And when you give up the need to know, I have to be honest and tell you, that's when you know. and you know what? You get to be more fluid too. Like you just go along. You know, I've explained to everybody a couple of weeks ago, I was given in the morning as I was waking up, which is usually when I get messages, and it was, have a prayer vigil. And I was like, no. It was Friday morning, and it was just after Thursday night, and I had done a taping for my Revealed show, and I did an extra long, like 2.5 hours of work on people. I was beat. And so I'm getting this message. I'm like, you all are freaking crazy. I'm not doing it. I'm too tired. I'm physically exhausted. I hadn't even gotten out of bed yet. I'm having this conversation, right? I just know. Anyway, so it was funny. I told everybody, so I'm laying there and I'm having this conversation. No. And they turned on my rower, the electronic pad of my rower. It turned on, and I was like, okay, fine, I will do it, because that rower has been sitting by that side, and I use it in the morning, but I mean, it's never turned itself on. I was like, okay, I got it. Thank you. All right. No worries. Fine. I'll do it. And then I was still like grousing in my head, right? Everybody, I was still like, oh my God, you know, I don't even have time to put out any, right? So I'm in my head like this, but I was like, okay. So I'm walking down the stairs to get my son ready for school. And I get this, you know, you can ask others to help you. And I was like, oh my God, that's such a brilliant idea. Okay. And so from there it went. But what's happened is it's taken on its own life, and I committed to doing more on my own because it's a lot of work to schedule people. And I just found like, this is the point, right? You just go and you say yes, and then you keep just saying yes, and it builds on itself, and you get to the next thing, or you meet the next person, or whatever it is. It's not like it doesn't all come in at once, but you have to say the first yes and the second yes, right? Like that. And you find the same yes. And
Absolutely.
even in the coaching that you do, I mean, when somebody comes to you and says, you know, I don't know what I should be doing, what's your advice? I mean, I love the heart thing. Are you going to do it too? Is that going to be your little?
If you'd like me to, sure.
I think so. Oh, thank you. All right. Yeah. So do you want to tell us after what you would do, or do you want to tell us now?
Well, it would be similar to what I shared when I was asked, you know, how do we know we are helping Earth if we don't know what we are here to do? And it's really that question about, you know, I don't know what I'm here to do. And the answer is you do. You know, you do know what you are here to, you do know what
Yeah, and if you don't like it, that's okay. Do it anyway.
Exactly. You do know what it is.
I've never asked you your story, actually. In all the times that we've been in the same place, even though we live in different states, how did you get started? And did you open your arms fully to like, okay, yeah, I'm in? Because that's not my story.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I dragged my feet kicking and screaming. And obviously, as I just shared with you, I still do that. So
Yeah, but you know, you've shifted a lot though, because I mean, through these years that I've known you, you've shifted a lot. So there's that. Okay. So, but you're right. I, in the beginning, was not compliant, I guess the word would be. And so you know, it was already starting when I was younger and a teenager and all that. And there was, you know, I was getting feedback that whatever I was doing, observing in the world, you know, because my powers were already starting to reveal themselves, I was already starting to get the feedback that it's not acceptable, it's not okay to be so sensitive. And so I was like, wow, well, I'm going to shut that down then, because it's creating a problem. And I want to be accepted. And, you know, I was like really young. And so I shut that down. I shut down my heart. I shut down my third eye, and I'm like, I'm done with this, you know, like it's just causing me problems. Right. And so what that did is, as you can probably tell, it just put me in through this dark night of the soul, like 10 times over. And so what then occurred was I basically initiated myself into some kind of shamanic awakening where, because I had shut down my power and my access to my power, I was completely lost. And I became this buffet for the darkness. So I was just like, you know, wandering around, not knowing what I was doing. And, you know, and I was, you know, hospitalized a couple times. I was put on cocktails of medications, you know, because I was just so not connected to myself, because my power was just not getting acknowledged and, you know, used. So then what ended up happening was that I one day just couldn't afford my medications anymore. And so like, and I would not recommend this, right? But like, I just couldn't afford them anymore. And so I was suddenly off my medications, and then I started meditating for the first time in my life. And it's basically, as soon as I started meditating, it was over for Team Dark, because they had no more access to me. I was starting to access my third eye again, and I was starting to open up my heart. And then as soon as I started, you know, getting activated on all kinds of levels, then it was over. Like there was no more access to me by the darkness anymore. And so after that, I started opening up into my work. I became a licensed acupuncturist, a Reiki master teacher. I was initiated as a shamanic practitioner, a medicine woman in the Mayan Toltec tradition. And I've been in private practice for over 11 years now in the middle of New York City, which, you know, and that in itself, I had stories around, limiting beliefs around, because I thought, if I'm in the middle of New York City, how am I supposed to make money, you know, as a healer? Because everyone and their mom is doing some healing work, you know, but that was a limiting belief, right? And so I ended up making six figures after I got over that, you know, story around myself. And now the greater work is, you know, after I awakened into my starseed awareness, and I remembered me and my partner, my twin flame, and how we had met each other over lifetimes since the beginning of time, that I'm like, okay, so I've got this greater purpose that I get to now not only acknowledge, but step into. And that is part of the reason why Team Dark was so vigilant in getting me to off myself, basically, in some kind of way, was because
that's their job.
That's their job. And they did a really great job. They almost succeeded.
I tell that to everybody. I'm like, even when you become spiritual, it's still their job to keep you off your task. Our job of being the light here, that is their job, is to keep you from doing your job. And so we have to stay, like you're saying, you have to stay vigilant in the light. I mean, this is so important. And especially as they're ramping up, they cheat all the time. I just want everybody to know this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like, also they're highly organized. You know, the light gets to be organized too. Team Dark is very organized.
You want to know, here's the thing I think that differentiates Team Dark from the awesome winners of the light. It is that they follow orders. And we honor each other and what we want to bring in. And that's where now unity and light it's to go beyond the emotion and the perception that we are in some way not honoring each other through the light. The light honors everyone. It is not up to us to perceive what that looks like, or, you know, if I share light out there, then I might be forcing it on somebody and it's against their will. You know what I'm saying? Like we do these weird things like that. And it's like, you know what? We're not doing anything. We're beacons of the light, and we're using our ability to amplify it from our hearts and send it out there. And we invite all the higher selves, the souls, the people, the beings to connect with it, to allow it to feed your heart, feed your soul, fill you up, right? So the darkness can't get in. And that's the invitation, but we have to be able to offer it, right? And if we aren't ourselves in unity, it's really hard to offer it, right? But the other side, they do it more out of that. I think of it almost as militaristic. They just take orders and they have one singular job, and that is to keep you off your job.
Yes, they're very focused. And you're absolutely right, is that, and it's so funny because as soon as you said, we get so emotional about it. And it's not that we're robots, because obviously we're not, right? But we are like, oh, but we're empaths and we want to honor the journey, right? And the truth is that part of honoring the journey is, you know, not taking on other people's journeys. You know, let them make their decisions, that everyone's a sovereign being, right? And then you get to focus on yourself and amplify your light. Because what I've learned also, especially doing healing work in private practice, is that sometimes people say they want healing, but they don't really. They want to just get cured, right? And the truth is that happens, the transformation happens when you're engaged. But if you're not taking ownership of your path, then that healing doesn't happen. And so, you know, our responsibility is to hone and cultivate ourselves to such a point, as you said, so that the darkness can't get in, and to be really diligent about what we're creating personally within ourselves and around ourselves. And what ends up happening is that those individuals who do desire to transform, they find us. And then they're like, what's working for you? Because I want what you've got, you know? And then that's when we share, and then that's when the transformation happens, because they desire to experience that for themselves. And so every single person is a sovereign being, and every single person, even if we perceive that, you know, they're kind of messing up things or whatever, right? It doesn't matter what our perception is. It's, you know, everyone has a sovereign job to be a divine being, to make decisions on their own, and to choose their light. And when you choose your light, that's when you can then amplify it, work on it, cultivate it, and hone it, and just like get stronger, you know? And I just even feel, Gabrielle, as we're talking about this, I just feel like we're creating this vortex of amplification of light, you know?
Because we've set a lot of people free with this discussion, actually. It's really amazing what happens when what they say is true, when two or more gather in the light, and we magnify it. And even having this discussion, it brings out that next level that we're shifting into, which is where we're together amplifying the light for the same purpose. And that's where we need to be in order for us to make the shift that we have come here to make. If you would do the heart piece, because somebody else had written in there about the heart, and that although it's easy to say, it's difficult for them to connect to. And this is crucial right now. This is the crucial piece. It is, I just did a workshop this weekend, actually past, that was called Heart Field Expansion. I'm totally with you on this, that this is our portal. It's our vessel. It's the everything. It's the magnifier. It does all the jobs for the light and what we're doing for our physical, etheric, energetic selves, and as well on a larger scale. So it's really super important to get that connection in alignment and open, and for us to be expanding it, as much as possible all the time. I don't think it has a limit of expansion. I haven't gotten there yet. So I couldn't say, oh yeah, no, you've reached the end. I don't think you do, probably.
I think it keeps going.
I think it must. I agree. It's just an interesting thought. It's like, nah, there's no end to this game. We just keep going. It's all good. All right. Are you ready?
Okay. So go ahead and drop down your awareness down into the heart space. And so anything that you've experienced today, this week, this month, this year, just allow that to drop off, slip off your shoulders, and just bring your awareness from your head down into the heart space. And allow yourself to inhale light into the heart and awaken that now. And exhale from the heart, releasing. Inhale light again to activate that heart space. And let go, releasing from the heart anything that doesn't serve you. And inhaling light once more into the heart. And release, letting go from the heart space. And so I'm surrounding us all in a pure form of light, just surrounding us in a beautiful sphere of light. And I'm seeing actually really tall galactic beings surrounding our sphere of light, showing us our support, the support of us, surrounding us in light. They are, and I'm already getting a message on a galactic level, they want us to know that they are surrounding us with light. And even with the solar flares that are coming in, we're not feeling the physical experience of the solar flares because of them, because they are protecting us. And they are here to let us know that they are with us. And so that is such an important experience for us to understand, is that we are part of that galactic vibration and we are in that oneness, because that's actually one of the codes I carry too. And so in regards to that oneness of the heart, I'm bringing down now a platinum ray column of light down through your crown chakra, down past the pineal gland, down past the throat. And now it's just actually opening up the throat portal. You might feel some relaxation on the sides of the neck muscles, the back of the neck, the front of the throat, and feel an opening there at your vocal cords, as I feel that's important to kind of bring in, because the truth is that you're all each being invited to speak your truth, and this truth comes from your heart. And so there's some preparatory action here of opening very gently and with grace and with so much love that portal at your throat chakra. And so now bringing down that platinum column of light to land in the heart chakra. And at the very center of your heart, I'm seeing a diamond. And that diamond is multifaceted. It is so beautiful. And there's a pointed tip and a pointed bottom. And I'm just going to go ahead and spin that very gently. And as that diamond starts to spin at the center of your heart, it is starting to receive and refract high frequency light vibrations into its body, out into your heart, out into your organs, out into your cellular matrix. And it's now starting to activate a diamond light frequency within your soul, within your spirit. And as that's occurring, I'm just going to drop in the codes of your power down to land into your heart right now, so that as that beautiful diamond is spinning and refracting high vibrational diamond light, your codes of power are awakening at your heart. As they awaken your heart, And I can feel some of you are feeling the emotions around this, and allow that to transmute in your heart, that beauty, because some of you are starting to realize that beauty in yourself for the first time. That is your purpose. That is your truth. It is something that cannot be hindered, destroyed, eliminated, because you are here for a purpose. And I'm seeing that your higher self is actually also additionally dropping in a beautiful shard. It looks like a lavender shard of crystal down into the middle of that diamond at the center of your heart. And as that crystal structure lands into the center of the diamond, it is actually unlocking. It is actually a very special high vibrational key that is unlocking the truth of your purpose so that it may be emancipated. So for some of you, it may have been put purposely on the down low. For some of you, it might have been programming. For some of you, it may have just been fear. But whatever the case is, that key is unlocking your purpose at the center of your diamond heart and awakening a new level of understanding on the DNA level of your being. And as that is unlocking within your system, see now every single one of your cells beginning to illuminate with a pure frequency of God light within your body, beginning with your heart, beginning with that diamond, and beginning with that shard from your higher self. Every cell in your being is being lit up with divine light. And this divine light is something you've always been connected to, you've just forgotten. And so allow yourself to experience the opening of those light codes on the DNA level. And I'm even seeing a swirl, kind of like a holographic image of your DNA. Some of it has been injured, broken, and I'm seeing in real time that God light within you is now starting to repair that DNA. And so it is actually repairing the sequence of your DNA as we speak. It's starting to repair all those areas of your DNA so that now it's perfecting the DNA frequency and your sequence. And now as that's completing, it's now going back into your system and replicating its perfection, not only in your heart, but in your body. And allow yourself to be the illumination. For many of you, you may be feeling the amplification of your light at this very moment. Whatever you are experiencing is perfect, and just allow yourself to feel it now. It may be groundedness and heaviness, it might be lightness, it might be joy, it might be release. Whatever it is, it's perfect. And now I'm just going to bring that vibration and frequency and ground it into the balls of your feet, and allow yourself to connect with Gaia's frequency, and allow love to just simply pour out of the overflowing of your heart into the earth, connecting with Gaia's heart, and allow her to receive your love. As she's receiving your love, she's acknowledging your being on this planet. She's acknowledging your light. And so as she receives your love, she's also sending up an Om frequency of groundedness, of amplification. She is beating her heart with yours. So allow yourself to receive her frequency through the balls of your feet, through your legs, through your pelvis, through your belly, your chest, your back, your arms, your neck, your head. Every part of your being is receiving her anchoring of light. And she is receiving your frequency and your imprint in her being. So there is now a deeper connection with you, within you, with who you are. And allow yourself to just feel how solid you feel. And when you're ready, you can come back to your body and come back to the room and gently open your eyes. How are you feeling?
Great. That was beautiful. How's everybody doing out there? I think that's amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're beaming that out around the world. At least I made that my intention.
I love it. Doing the same with you.
Yes, that's what we're here for. Yeah, see, that was amazing. And it is hard to come back. It's like, wow, I've got things swimming in my eyes. It's like all these little light bursts, which is kind of interesting. Thank you, Margarita. Powerful. That was fantastic. Thank you. See, beautiful.
You're welcome.
Beaming. Wonderful. That's awesome. Thank you. See that? Beautifully received. Thank you for providing it.
My pleasure.
So what do you feel? What would you like to do next? You can take calls. We can talk about your free gift. I know it's hard to decide now, isn't it?
So many options. Well, what would serve everyone the most? And I think that you would probably know that best.
Oh, somebody's writing in from the Philippines. See, we are worldwide. Looks like some people would like to ask you a question.
Sure.
Their hands are up.
Okay.
Hey, Jean, let's see if Jean is still there. She's had her hand up a long time. Jean, are you there? You have to unmute yourself. Let's see if she's going to. Nope. All right, if you guys want to ask a question of Margarita, you can raise your hand. If you're on the phone, it's *9. And if you're online with me, you have to raise your hand on the screen. Let's see, is Linda there? I just lost her.
I'm here.
Is. Hi, Linda. It's nice to see you.
You too, Gabrielle. I love all these things. This is so great. I love that you bring all these wonderful people in.
Thank you.
It lightens up your whole day, and we have so much with the pandemic. It's really hard. So what you did
need each other, Linda.
I know, we do, definitely. And I loved your prayer vigil too. That was fantastic.
Thank you, sweetie.
Margarita, you are fantastic. I just love that last meditation we just did. It was really good. It was really hard to come back. Very, very hard to come back. I don't know. I think I know what I'm supposed to do, but I'm not positive. And I don't know. Do you have any clues?
Well, from that, because there was some heart activation in that activation that we just did, right? So
yes.
What came up for you in the middle of that? What came up for you?
Well, when you said we were supposed to beam our light out to the planet, I always picture fairy dust going through the whole globe and the light coming down and touching every individual.
Yeah, I feel like connecting with your energy now, there is an aspect of earth, that kind of earth magic, right? That's the fairy dust. And there's some earth medicine that I feel that you are connected to. I feel like there's a piece around plants and plant medicine that you might be providing. But there's an element around healing and around your connection with the earth that gets amplified as you show up in service. And I feel like you get to explore that more deeply from that place of, desiring to connect with your heart in that deeper way. But I feel like there is definitely a piece around plant medicine, around honoring the earth, around working with the earth frequency to provide transformation. I feel like there's some of that for you. Does that resonate?
Yes, because I do some healing work for other people. I got to work with a chiropractor for 6 or 7 years, and so I do a lot of touch and energy medicine and I work a lot with the oils. And so, yeah, I'm very grounded with that.
Yeah. And it's about, and this is a time for all of us, yourself included, Linda, where you get to tap into what you've been doing and then getting to the next level of that now, because it's like, that is what you're being called forward to. So it's like, whatever might feel a little challenging, maybe even a little scary, a little out of your comfort zone, even, I feel like that is, you get to go to that next step of what that is. And so I feel like there gets to be some outreach on your part. I feel like you get to expand. And maybe, I feel like there might be some group work that you might get to do as well. But I feel like there's this aspect of you becoming more visible to make that greater impact that I feel you're being called for. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but it's scary.
It totally is. It totally is scary. Yeah. And just a quick story about that. When my, because I have been having a coach and a mentor for a couple of years now. And the first time she shared, hey, why don't you not only out yourself as a starseed, but announce it in your very first video on your very first Facebook Live ever, and talk about your mission. And I was petrified. I would have rather have stuck like a hot knife into my eye. And instead, I'm highly coachable. So then I said, okay, I know you're right. And so I just did it. And I just stepped up and, I just bit the bullet. And not only did I do my first ever Facebook Live, I came out as a starseed, and my purpose and my mission, and carrying this code of power where I'm activating other people in the power codes and all this stuff, right? And I just did it. And can I just tell you, it was so liberating and so amazing. And you get to do something similar too, and you will kind of liberate yourself in a really powerful way with the very first time that you do it. So it's scary, but that fear is actually the impetus and energy and momentum you require to leap into that next level of who you are. So use it accordingly.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
You're
sweetie.
both incredible.
Welcome.
Thank you. All right. Let's see if she will unmute her.
Hi.
Hi. Who is
Hi,
this?
my name Juliana.
Hi, Juliana.
Thank you for tonight. This was a beautiful gift.
Thank
and
you.
I'm still buzzing. My question is, I feel like I battle a lot in my sleep. And when I wake up, my hands are so painful that I'm clenching constantly. And it's getting a lot stronger as the weeks go by. Can you give me some insight on this?
Gabrielle, did you want to speak into that? Because so many of us are...
It's what I was talking about earlier, Juliana, about we are doing galactic work at nighttime and in the daytime. Let's be honest. They don't care day or night. It's just that we're not realizing. And so, do you realize even in the day where suddenly you're exhausted and there's not actually a reason why? It's because the other aspects of ourselves are super busy, right? And so I was just talking about how I did a recording. It's part of my inner circle group, but Juliana, if you send me an email, I will be happy to send you that MP3. I did an MP3, which is to help you to basically bring yourself all into oneness, wholeness, and alignment, and basically call it off. Because the truth is that we all need to get some physical rest, and we have to honor that part of ourselves. And so it's really just about getting everybody on the same piece of music, that the other aspects of yourself have to honor the vehicle self of your that part, but also to give a little more direction to what you are working on. Like I will tell you, my husband okay, first I'm going to say I will send it to everybody. I'm so sorry. I will send it out in this email when it goes
Thank you
out
so
tomorrow for the
much.
replay. I will add the MP3 link for everybody to have it. My blessings and my gift. Okay, so, and I don't remember what it's called, but I will put it in there, tell you it's called sleeping something. But anyway, the point of this is my husband has actually yelled at me before because I have awakened and actually a physical part of my body has been physically hurt and I come back in. So recently I had an experience a couple months ago now where this whole part of my right hand, which I am right-handed, but this from my tip of my pinky all the way down as if it had been cleaved off. And it was huge, swollen, could not move it. Now, when I went to bed, there was nothing wrong with me at all. And it still aches now as if I have a real injury. And I'll tell you, the only thing that healed it were those X39 patches. And I have so much equipment, as you know, the oils and I have infrared lamps and pads. I mean, I got it all. Nothing would do it. It was having to do the quantum healing that actually healed it. So be aware that there's a lot happening. We are involved in a lot of things, and we all need to be aware that we are. You need to ask for protection before you go to bed. You need to call in your angels to assist you, to surround you. We all have legions of angels. This is something that I don't do a lot of work with angels. I know my name is angelic, but call in your legions. I've learned recently that we not only have legions, so way more than our guardian angel that we were all taught about when we were kids. We have legions, and the more that you step into your light, the more legions of angels you have with you. Okay. We are protected. We are assisted. It's like I said to you, when I woke up the other day saying, no, I don't want to do this. And they're like, you can ask for help. Me as Gabrielle, the person, it's like, oh, hey, that's really smart. I mean, how stupid. Duh, of course I can ask for help, right? But my human self forgets that I can ask for help because I'm, type A personality. So I'm just used to figuring it out and doing it. And that's just me. But that's our point. So ask for help, call in your angels, connect with the celestial masters before you go to bed. Ask to be of the highest service, but allow your physical self to sleep. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you.
And I also have something to add to that too. I love what you shared, Gabrielle, totally on point. And what I'm also going to share is because, so many of us are fighting these cosmic wars in our sleep. And I know I became aware of the fact that I was doing that, I guess, within the past year, because I was just like, I'm getting enough sleep and I'm waking up exhausted. And that makes zero sense. So
Right.
I was getting so aggravated because I'm like, what is going on here, And so then when I realized that I actually started remembering, because at one point, I think it might have been a couple months ago, where I was like, show me, because I'll go into meditation for long periods of time to heal things, address things, correct things within my system and my body and auric fields and beyond time and space and all that. And I'm like, okay, help me understand why I'm exhausted. And then I actually saw that I was with my team and we were fighting some spaceship that was now starting to come down because we injured it like somehow, and it was starting to crash, and so we are literally fighting, these cosmic wars with our galactic allies, and so at one point, I think I remembered because one day I woke up and I was just uber exhausted, and I thought that was so weird. And then when I really connected to myself in meditation, I realized I'd been shot in the back, and I was like, well, that can explain things, right? And so then what I did, it's like, I got work to do, me, Margarita, I got some clients to serve, and I get to be of service to my clients, right? And so I said, okay, team of light, bring it on, and help me repair so that I can be of service today, because I get to be sustained, nourished, and well, so that I can, be in my human existence and do my work. And so they went to work. It's kind of like you see those pit stops when you see the race cars and they're like circling and circling, and then they stop and they get like zzz, 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 you know, like around their bodies and stuff.
Yes.
That's exactly what I got, you know. And so then they repaired me, you know, like, and I even just called in like angels of healing to repair and do some work there. And I healed up, you know. And then also, as Gabrielle said, you know, before you go to bed, you can create some parameters around that, you know, like I have done, you know, you got to sleep. So,
No, well, see, that's what I meant by my husband yells at me. He's like, you know, you shouldn't be going anywhere you can't handle. This is my warrior husband. And I said to him, that is ridiculous. Of course, I have no idea what I'm doing. And that's when he said to me, seriously, you should have better understanding. He's like, you can actually talk to them about it. And I was like, what? Seriously, I had never thought of it. I mean, it didn't ever occur to me. I just figured I was doing what I was supposed to be doing. I wasn't going to interfere. But again, it's back to that, you know, a little bit more being in alignment, but having all of myself in alignment. Like, you know, my physical body can only take so much. Somebody wrote in here about bruises and scratches. And yes, I've had that too, where you wake up and you're like, whoa. I see you wear an amulet. Is it coded?
Coded in, well, you know, it's got light technology in there. And when I received it, the people who make it, they encode while they're making it. And then when I received it, then I also encoded it, as I do with all of my amulets and my stones. And but yeah, you know, like before you go to bed, you can just simply say, you know, peeps, I gotta sleep tonight. You know, like I'm not going to be, you know, part of the, you know, the thing tonight, you know. And you can create some parameters around that. And you can also just call in protection so that you can take care of what you need to take care of, because like we are unlimited energy beings, but our physical bodies, you know, it's got some limits there, and you get to create some parameters around that so you can get what you need.
Definitely. I'll try that.
Is because the pendant, people, you can encode pendants, people. I wear one too. People have said to me, you know, I like, it's just very small, but that's the 72 sacred names of God engraved in the center. And I've infused it with light, and I've asked for it to be downloaded and to surround me and protect me and all of the magic that they hold, the protection and the upgrade. So there are many things that you guys can do, as well as when I send out the MP3, there is actually a rejuvenation chamber that it sends you into. So when you were talking about that, I remember that is also in that MP3 too. So there's like a ton. So you guys have gotten all of our secrets. So I hope that helps you, my dear.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, it's really funny too. It's like when you put it all together, you realize we have so much power. That's the thing, right? And sometimes we forget, I think.
Yeah.
We forget. All right, my love. So we're going to call it as 9:15.
Yeah.
All right, my beautiful lady. Oh, tell them first about your free gift. And I will tell everybody how to get it after she's done.
Thank you. So my free gift is called the Throat Chakra Power Activation, and it's a video. And so what it will do is it will actually activate the power of your throat chakra so that you can be in fullest expression of your being, which is so, so important for all beings of light. As we step forward, as we step into our truth and our power and really unleash our potential into the world, is to really be able to speak our truth and to be in expression. So, you know, that's what I recommend, is just really, you know, tap into that and activate your throat chakra power so that you can start speaking your truth and making your greater impact.
Beautiful. And everybody can get that at soulscape.tv/Margarita. Okay. It's open now, and tomorrow the replay will be posted there as well. And I will send it all out to you in email as well, everyone. So I want to thank you, Margarita. I've just so enjoyed our time together. It went so fast.
Yeah, I know. My goodness. Thank you for inviting me. And I mean, it was just, I feel like we were just activating things all over the place as we were talking.
We've been very busy. This has been an awesome group. Thank you, everyone, for sharing your heart and your love and your light and your inquisitiveness and just being here. This is what makes it all worth it. And it makes it so that we grow stronger together. And that's what I'm super excited about. So thank you for sharing that, Margarita. I really appreciate you and your beautiful work. I still feel it. It's working its way.
Yeah.
Big
It's still going.
stuff. I know,
Yeah,
right?
it's big, it's unifying, it's joyous, it's whole, and it's going to keep going until it's finished. So I'm in so much gratitude for you inviting me, Gabrielle, and so much gratitude to everyone here who is partaking and being part of this container tonight. And so thank you for having me and for allowing me to be part of this experience.
You're the best. We'll do something soon. Big love to everyone. Have a great night. See you all soon. Good night.